Hello, Nicholas. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. Not bad. Just getting over Christmas.
Excellent. Well, this is Nick, and this is essentially season 2 of the Algarve Addicts podcast, because I originally started this podcast back in 2018 and did 46 or 47 episodes, interviewing various people all around the Algarve in a very different format. We weren't doing it online. We were actually going physically with a microphone to people's places and offices and things. And obviously, I've got a YouTube channel where you may be seeing this on, or you may be listening to this on a podcast or podcatcher, as they call it these days. And so obviously those videos are going to carry on, and we're going to add these in as an extra video every week, an extra podcast, and we're going to get in touch with as many interesting people as possible. And this man on my left here, Nick Smith, is a very interesting man. We merged. How do we say? We didn't merge. You came on board about.
We combined forces.
We combined forces about 8 months ago, right?
Yeah. It feels like a lifetime, but yeah.
It has been a long, hard road. But we'll explain a little bit more how that happened. And the idea is that Nick is going to quiz me a little bit about the early days. So, Nick, over to you, Captain.
Yeah, it's kind of rare you let me have the reins,
I'm just a bit worried because, we do have a 2-hour limit on this thing.
Hey, I'm asking the questions, not answering them, so you're fine. So, yeah, this is a little bit about the history, I suppose. So, question one, it's been put here to me, was what was the idea that sparked Algarve Addicts?
Well, I think the original idea about Algarve Addicts was that I remember before I arrived in the Algarve, all I had was this brochure from a local travel agent about the Algarve. I didn't, because it was 2001. There wasn't much on the internet about the Algarve. There was much about Portugal. I found a webcam in Cavoeiro, actually. So I used to log on to that on a website called cavoeiro.com. And they would just show the weather every day. And it was quite fascinating in those days to watch. But so that's all I had. I had this webcam about Cavoeiro, and I had a travel agent brochure. And I thought to myself, people need a lot more information, and I'm going to try and bring it to them online. So I thought I'd start off with a podcast, and I'd interview stories from people all around the Algarve to give a much, much bigger feeling of it. So that's how it started. And then people were saying to me, why a podcast? And to be honest, video was really difficult because it's hugely intensive to actually work out and shoot and edit a video. It takes a long time. And I had done a few videos on YouTube before that podcast launched, and I didn't get much feedback. It was literally like throwing stones on a pond and there were no ripples. So it was quite tough. So I thought, well, let me just do it easy, do audio only, and just go for the podcast first. And it worked out well because I'd done a couple of podcasts before, and it was great. It was easy.
Okay. So you kind of vicariously answered the question. The second question was why a podcast? I don't know if there's anything else you want to embellish on what you've just said, or why as a medium it potentially is a good accompaniment to the channel.
Well, I think the really good things about podcast is that they're long form and you can get a lot of interesting information. Like, for example, if we're discussing visas and things with our lawyer, if we're discussing really in-depth experiences about a place in a certain town in the Algarve, or an experience, you can really get those stories across on a podcast. In a video, I feel really rushed because you've got to try and keep people's attention and they're watching. Whereas with a podcast, generally people can use it while they're exercising. So while you're at CrossFit in the morning, I expect to see you having those in your ears, Nick, listening to the podcast. Or if you're driving along the road.
Too much time listening to you generally, so no, you're not going to get that one out of me.
But it's great because if you're on a commute to work and things like that, then you can listen to the podcast, and if it's only a 15-minute commute, you can stop it and hear the rest on the way home. So I think that's why it's a great medium, and it's a very intimate medium. I mean, we're speaking right into your ears, and you can hear us, so you get to know us really well. The other reason why the podcast is great was actually just for ease of use. It's easier to edit the podcast than it is a video. Sorry?
Or not edit it. Just let it go and see what happens.
Well, exactly. I mean, if you don't fiddle with your ears anymore, we won't get those disturbing noises, which is great.
Yeah, every time I laugh, my earbud falls out, so that's why. The
Try not to make you laugh.
so
But
obviously
the other thing was that, sorry, carry on, Nick.
no. I was just going to sort of say, look, you're obviously podcasting. You gave that a go, and you said you had a few videos before, but obviously the real substance behind Algarve Addicts at the moment is the videos. Was that why didn't you do that before, or was it just because you weren't getting any joy out of it, or was it just the amount of work, or why didn't you do it before?
Exactly that. I mean, I didn't get any joy out of it. I was making videos about things that I just thought I liked, like hiking in the Algarve, and not many people were watching them. And then a friend of mine said, hey, make a video designed for American people relocating to Portugal, and do it, an overview of the Algarve, call it Where to Live in the Algarve, and do it like town by town by town. And I did that. And it went really, really well. And I was like, wow, there's lots of, I've thrown this pebble in the pond and now there's ripples coming out. Now I've got about 350,000 views, which...
So I'll ask you a question. Okay, you got a lot of views on that, 350,000. But how did you actually feel after you published it? Did you feel any different to any of the other videos, or were you confident at that stage, or what?
Yeah, I was excited because I knew it was an effort. It took me like 3 days to film that, and I had to hang this curtain in this office, actually, in this garage, and I had to hang a curtain behind it, and I had to hang this microphone up by a thing to try and get it close to my face, and it was a real sort of patching stuff together. And I had this old camera that I used, and it was hard work. It was really hard work. It took me a long time to put it together, and then the comments started coming in, the views started coming in, and I was like, that's what really sparked me. And it's really, because obviously if you're throwing stuff out there and no one's listening, doesn't matter how good your content is, it's debilitating. And you can't, and then everyone was saying, wow, this is great, this is really good information, you've really helped me. And I love to help people, and that's what really gives me a buzz. So that video obviously is the most watched in the channel. That obviously sparked a huge growth in the beginning, but why and how did you manage to keep it growing to where it is today? Well, I saw the potential from that one video. I was like, okay, there's a real need here. I'm going to invest in this, and I'm going to invest my time, and I'm going to go out and make a video about every single town that I mentioned in that video. And I did, and it worked well. And people kept on coming back to me saying, hey, you've really helped me. I've been struggling with like where to live in the Algarve and this and this and this. And then I was thinking, this is great and it's going really well. But it was all buoyed by that one video. And obviously that sort of helps to elevate the rest of the channel. And the subscribers are going up. We're getting like 1,000 subscribers, new subscribers every month. And it was great. We're going like 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 subscribers, 15,000 subscribers. And I was just on top of the world. I thought, this is fantastic. But obviously one needs to get some money reward for your time, because I'm investing my whole working life into this thing. You've got to get some kind of reward. And I was thinking, I had it in the back of my mind, I wasn't just going to rely on the ads. I needed to try and figure out some kind of monetization scheme. And then a guy emailed me from Manhattan, said, hey, Nick, I want to talk to you. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm really busy making videos, I don't have time. And he said, well, I'll give you $100 for 45 minutes. I was like, okay, I've got time. And then we sat down, we had a video call like this, and we started, and he said, that was the most helpful 45 minutes ever. I'm moving to Portugal, and this really helped. You've got to share this with your audience. So I did that. And then all of a sudden I was doing these calls all the time, and lots of people were wanting to have these calls, which is great. So I just set up a Calendly and I limited it, and I said, okay, cool. Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons. Say again?
It's tough. It's tough. You're one man, you still got to get the videos out, and there's, there's time is the one thing we can't make more of, I suppose.
That's absolutely true. And then it got a little tougher because another guy, this really lovely couple from Virginia, they sent me an email and said, hey, Nick, can you take us around the Algarve for a day? And I was like, well, I don't really have time. He said, no, it's cool. I'll give you $400 for the day. I was like, okay, I've got time. So I went, and we had such an amazing time. And we had lunch. They bought me lunch. It was fantastic. And they're a lovely couple. So he said, no, Nick, you really need to offer this to your audience. I was like, okay, I'm doing these calls. I'm doing the videos. I'm doing these tours. So I started doing them. And then it was like in a test phase, and then we got all legal about it because it was a real big, good thing. So we signed up to the tourism board and we got it all legalized, and it was great, and get insurance, all that kind of stuff. And now we offer those, thankfully, with Robin, so I can focus more on the day-to-day running of the videos.
So on that then, is there anything you don't do for money?
There are a few limits, but I guess that's a rhetorical question, Nicholas.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, like, obviously the growth of the channel gets to a certain point, and how do you feel? I mean, I guess more the question is, where is it now? How are you feeling about it at the moment?
Well, I'm not feeling so good about it at the moment, actually. I mean, we've reached 25,000 subscribers, and we've been hovering around there for some time, and I'm getting 150 new subscribers every month, and it feels like it's stopped growing, but and I'm trying to grow it. I want to grow it. And then but at the same time, I'm like, well, we're helping so many people through the whole process that we've built up here. I mean, we've built up this relocation agency with you. We've built up a real estate agency with you. And it's going well, and it's great. So, we don't necessarily need 1 million subscribers to fulfill and to help everybody. So in that respect, it's feeling great. But there's a little part of me in the background who wants 100,000 subscribers.
True. But I guess, as you say, like, there's an element of what you can do and contain and work with at the moment versus just going too big that you can't help anyone, without going fully automated and fully AI and fully everything, so that they're not actually talking to human beings. So I suppose there's a trade-off there. So absolutely,
and that sort of authenticity is really important for us, and I'm jumping back more into that these days with some of our clients. Going for lunch with you like we did yesterday was fantastic. So it's really nice to be able to chat to the clients again, getting a little bit more headspace.
For sure. So, like, I mean, from a time perspective, this is you full time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you really think about it, and you obviously know how much time it takes up to film, to conceptualize, to edit these videos, to go and organize it, like bring in guests and stuff, and go and speak to like partnerships and try and do collaborations and things like that, and then plan them, and then spend time filming it, and then spend time editing it, and then conceptualizing the title and the thumbnail and all that kind of stuff, and then marketing each video as well, which you have to do, which I should do more of. And there's a lot more, because if you think about it, one video, you can do so much. You can make a podcast about it, you can do a blog post about it, you can do social media reels and stuff, and photographs on Instagram. So you can do a lot of stuff about it. And there's just so much going on. Like right now, for example, we're organizing meetups as well every month. And we've got a fantastic partner there, Mia, who's helping do that. So that's how I like to go into things, is try and find a partner and then grow that. So, half of the headspace, I don't get all of the headaches. You know what I mean? We share that.
So it's a full-time job when you're not out on the water paddling, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just checking.
It's very important to make time for paddling, Nicholas.
Yes, absolutely. So because
but just a little thing about that. I find it extremely important to get out and to do exercise, because if you're just sitting here slogging away, working all your days, it's impossible. Actually, you become so non-productive. I do personally. I have to have that time out in nature, otherwise I can't perform in the office.
But that's the other side of that is, and let's not forget, kind of our audience base really is it's about the Algarve. The weather makes us capable to do that, without having to dress up like, Michelin men in down suits to go outside and then stomp through the snow, or, have full year round waterproof stuff. It gives us the ability, the weather out here, all year round. I mean, we're sitting here, this is probably one of the worst days of the year, and it's 16 degrees outside. It's a little bit grey, but that's as bad as it kind of gets, really. Bar the odd days it rains where you want it to, because you just drink water.
Exactly, and I think that's what a lot of people, that's one of the reasons they want to relocate here, because they do want to change their lifestyles. They want to get out of the rat race, and they want to settle down and slow down a little bit and experience something new. A lot of people who could relocate here could bring their business with them online and just keep on doing the same old thing, but then you're missing out. Because there's a lot that the Algarve has to offer, that culturally, Obviously weather-wise and just what you mentioned, like outdoors and nature-wise. There's just, and food as well. It's just so much. I mean, we've been here for a long time, both you and I, and we still haven't fully explored the food.
Well, with the irony of yesterday having lunch with those clients, and they we were both in jackets and trousers, and they turned up in t-shirts.
Yeah, because they were from Chicago and we were freezing cold from the Algarve. So obviously they've got Chicago weather in their blood and they can withstand 15, 16 degrees outside.
So moving on a little bit, you're curating videos. You're getting it out there. You're talking to people. Essentially, you're helping people, relocate. But one of the big questions we always have, I suppose, is about community here. And how are you solving that from our perspective?
Well, we're trying to do. I started an email list, email newsletter with all of our subscribers about a couple of months ago, about 3 months ago, and that's proven like the glue that brings it all together. So that's helping us organize these meetups in the Algarve. And every month we want to have a meetup where we get together, and it's very relaxed. It's like 2 hours from 5:30 in the afternoon till 7:30 in the afternoon, just meeting people and talking. And I think from there, that's where you start to create real community. Because a lot of YouTubers turn around and say, "Oh, we've got a fantastic community here on YouTube." And it's a bunch of people leaving comments, and you do have a certain camaraderie there, but I feel like we need to strengthen that and create more.
Well, it's the problem with the internet, isn't it? It just becomes, it can become very negative very quickly for zero reason, zero rationale. It just depends on that person on that day, but you don't, seeing the whites of people's eyes when you meet up with them is a different ballgame. It's amazing for us to see the people that have transitioned here, but then why can't we help connect people that, may be like-minded and going through the same thing? And, actually something we touched on yesterday that I think, is something we should definitely be looking at in 2024 is the mental health side of moving, that whole headspace of leaving, your home and moving here. And, I really think it is a really interesting one, but community can help that because you've got people to talk to.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a vital component of relocation because you are stripping away your entire social network, and you're arriving here and it's the honeymoon period and you love it and it's so much fun and the food tastes good and the sun's shining. But then when you do get a bit of a gloomy day and you realize that you don't have any friends or family around here, that's something that one has to try and get over and to deal with. And some people hardly go through that. Other people go through it a little bit more. It all depends on where you're at. But yeah, there's so many interesting subjects that I'd love to tackle on this podcast. But for now, I think we just want to try and introduce you to a little bit of the history about Algarve Addicts. And it's myself and Nick Smith, and you joined up. So why did you join, Nick?
Because there's bored of you begging me to join you. No.
So it finally worked, just persistence.
Finally. Just, literally just like a bludgeoning axe. No, obviously we've been friends for quite a while, and you've been talking about the channel. And to be completely honest with you, I'm a bricks and mortars kind of guy. I'm a physical, service-based, present industry kind of background. I couldn't get my head around the space. Really, if it was actually tangibly real. And you kind of asked me quite a few times to have a look at the CRM system and see the people that are popping into the inbox, the questions that are being asked, and etc. And that was when I was kind of like, okay, well, I think there's something, I can help here. I think I can add value. I think ultimately, the ethos that you have in terms of helping people, want to help people, that is probably one of the bigger reasons for me joining, is that I think you and I have both the same sort of desires and some ways of working. And, not this sort of big, crazy machine chasing, really sort of faceless, just chasing the cash. I think it's really, getting to know people and helping them out and really bring them in, obviously within reason of, the amount of time that we have in a day. But, I think we're managing to do it at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately my background is as the sort of the little thing here, other one, he says, I'm the real estate guy. Majority of our clients are coming in to find that need a rental, whether that's for visa purposes or whether it's they want to buy because they're relocating here. And I didn't really probably think about it too much before, but now very much so. Like, it's a huge move, and trying to do a lot of that from abroad is hard. Like, you're sort of coming in and going, I've got to try and find somewhere within 3 weeks, or whatever your life is allowing you to stay in Portugal. And the aim, I suppose, of what we do as a buying agency service is trying to distill that. So I really thought, because of my background, I suppose better to answer your question is that the need was there for a real estate acquisition perspective, and the support in trying to make that process as slick as possible and make sure then the clients aren't falling into pit holes. And as that is my background, which is property acquisition, from my days as a chartered surveyor in London to where I am now here, I thought it could be a real service add, and I think the last 8 months is proving that.
Yeah, it's been a great ride, and it's really fantastic to have you on board, as it is to have Robin on board as well as a great tour guide who looks after people, and I think the three of us all help people to come across, and that's what it's all about. Like you mentioned, it's just about to help. And obviously, we've got to, like us, the secondary thing is obviously we've got to make a little bit of money. We've got to try and reward because people don't work for nothing. So it's a way that we can make money and help people at the same time, and provide interesting content, hopefully. So I think about Algarve Addicts itself, what is really important to us in the future? What do you think is important to us in the future, Nick?
Hang on, you're flipping this around now. It's on me, is it?
On you, man. What do you think? I'll tell you what I think.
I think for us, I think it's trying to grow within, to grow our service offering, whilst maintaining the level of clients, diligence and service that we want. I think that's the most important thing, is not to get so big that we're missing things and not taking that on. But to grow organically, we don't just want anyone to join us. We need to make sure that they're from the same cloth, and grow in accordance with what's needed. So I think that really is going to be the focus for I suppose for me in the commercial side of things. Probably the most important thing is to be able to sustainably grow. I'd love the YouTube channel to be at 100,000, but I'm going to curtsy at the same time. If that is the case, while we try to scale up to keep the service level we want. But
I think that's important as well. Obviously, providing people with great service is vital. But there's so many fun little things, or not little things, but fun things that I'd love to get there. And like, for example, right now we're doing scouting tours. We're doing we've got a relocation services that we offer people, so you can get your visas and everything through. We've got the real estate service that you find houses for. I would love to expand those scouting tours into relocation retreats, and basically bring you guys to the Algarve for 4 or 5 days into a beautiful hotel, and then we'll come in and do speeches every day, and we'll take you around to the Algarve and show you all in a holiday setting what it's like to live here. So I think, hey, there's Phoebe.
You want to say hi?
Hi, Phoebe. How's it going? So I think that'd be really exciting to be able to grow that area of this offering. And one thing that we'd always like to be getting into is, and if you have seen the latest videos, we'd love to develop this sort of multi-purpose office space where we can throw in a little cafe, and we can throw in a little gym, and we can throw in a couple of maybe even a carpenter or something, and just get a few businesses, very small micro businesses together, to try and come together in this place where we can entertain clients. We can have meetups and events and things, and we can work there as well. So that's a really exciting thing. It's kind of ethereal at the moment, but we're looking.
It's a part of the community-based thing now as well. It's been the words anchor have been used to describe us by a number of clients, over the last year, giving the weirdness of an anchor point here in Portugal. And I think, having that base and that one place for people to come, gives you one place to step into when you first get here. And, if there can be a friendly face there as well, and then combine that with all the other bits we want to say, the meetups, etc. We think that might resonate quite well with people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it just creates more realness for the business instead of it just being this ethereal online product. We can have reality as well, bricks and mortar. So we get back to your bricks and mortar wish.
Exactly.
Yeah. But there's lots of other ideas that we've got bubbling around, and I think sometimes I have too many ideas, and we need to focus and just, pardon?
What?
But yeah, and so this is the first podcast of the second series of podcasts. And like I said, we're hoping to get some very interesting guests on board. And hopefully Nick can interview some people, I can interview some people, and we can do this as a community thing. But it'll probably be a lot of me. As I can see, Nick's a very busy man. So we want to respect that. But anyway, I'm babbling, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for listening, if you're just listening. And we look forward to doing more of this. And drop any comments and email. Just let us know what you'd like to hear.
Yeah, topic suggestions are always helpful.
Great stuff. All right, Stay well and have a fantastic 2024.
Bye from us.
Algarve Addicts.com